Today is 7/12/2015, about 3:30 p.m. And like I always say, vote for the big D, vote for Donald Trump. Well, actually what I always say is, my video game site name is Funkadelic Video Game Technology, free to join, free to play, free to get paid.com. And I always say, vote for the big D, vote for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the best person for the job. He's the most honest, he's the most honest person who's ever ran for president, and probably the richest. I mean, he's probably the most wealthy president that ever ran for office, but he's also the most honest, like Honest Abe. But I think he's even more honest than Abe is. Look at him. He's talking about the Mexican border. He's talking about the Mexican border and the problem. Okay, the problem we have is the Mexican people, or the Spanish people, want to cross the border and stay in the United States. Okay, and that's illegal. As soon as they cross the border, here's their foot. Let's say here's their foot. Here's the left foot. Here's the right foot. Here's the border. Here's the United States border, and here's Mexico over on this side. Mexico. Okay, so United States over on this side. So we got everything clear. See, we got this clear, right? Mexican and United States right here. Okay, we got that clear. This is a border. This is not a line. This is not a crack in the cement that breaks your mother's back. Okay, it's not a crack in the cement that breaks your mother's back. It's called a border. This is called a border. Okay, we got this clear now. Okay, we got this clear. We got this clear. This is a border, not a line, not a crack. Break your mother's back. It's not a crack. This is a border set by the United States and Mexico. This is a border. This is Mexican people here, United States here. Once a Mexican person or a Spanish person or whoever lives in Mexico crosses this is what's called the border, crosses this like this. Here's his left foot, here's his right foot, or vice versa, whatever. He is a criminal. He is now in the United States, and he doesn't have a passport, and he doesn't have legal papers saying that it's okay for him to be in the United States. So therefore, by definition, this is only by definition, this is not by Donald Trump. This is by definition, not by Donald Trump, but by definition. This person now is a criminal. And what does Donald Trump say? What does Donald Trump say? He says every person who crosses that border, every person who crosses that border illegally is a criminal. Is that correct? Goddamn right that's correct. That is correct. He's right. Donald Trump is 100% without a doubt correct. Donald Trump is a very smart person. And he's probably a lot smarter than most of the people in the United States. And that's where we have the problem. Because he's saying the Mexican people or Spanish people or whoever lives in Mexico crosses this border. Crosses this border to the United States is a criminal. And that is 100% correct by definition. So where has Donald Trump made a mistake? He hasn't. He's telling you like it is. He's telling you like it is. Like it is in we the people, our definitions as we the people. That once a person from Mexico crosses into the United States without the proper paperwork, without a green card, or without a whatever you want to call it, without permission from their country, and without permission from our country to have them be here, their green card, or at least paperwork saying it's okay for them to be here by the United States and Mexico. No, they don't do that. They just cross the border. That is a criminal by definition, not by Donald Trump, but by definition, that is a criminal. So what has Donald Trump said that's not correct? That is 100% correct. Everybody who crosses that border illegally is a criminal. That's a fact. So that's all Donald Trump is saying, is that's a fact. And I'm saying, don't put lipstick on a pig. Do not put lipstick on a pig, because it doesn't change a pig. And this is why I say that about Hillary Clinton. Do not vote for Hillary Clinton. And here's why. Okay? Her husband was in office, okay? Remember Bill Clinton? You don't remember him, do you? Probably not. Because most people are probably I won't say it. I won't say it. But and here's why. Here's why I say what I say. Here's why I say don't vote for Hillary Clinton. And why? Because of her husband. Her husband. You don't think Bill Clinton has any influence whatsoever on Hillary Clinton? You don't think so? That's stupid right there. That's just stupid. And you know Bill Clinton was impeached on 4 or 5 counts of impeachment. Bill Clinton was impeached. He was fully impeached way before he left office. He was fully impeached. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Look it up on the internet. Go to the library. Go to your resources. Your resources, not mine, yours. And find out for yourself. I'm telling you, fact. That Bill Clinton was impeached on 4 or 5 counts. One of them was that he lied under in the federal court of land. That means he lied to us, we the people. He lied to us through our highest court in the land. He lied in court to us, we the people. He lied. He's a liar. Bill Clinton is a liar, and you don't think Hillary isn't? That whole family, man. Here's another thing about the law, about the presidential law. We have in our Constitution where you have to be born in the United States. You have to be born in the United States to become president. You have to prove that you were born in the United States to become the United States, the USA president. The reason being is because, remember, the British were coming. The British are coming. The British are coming. Remember that? Okay? We were totally against the British. Okay? So when we formed the United States of America, we put in our Constitution that to become president, you had to be born in the United States. The reason for that is so a British person could not become president of the United States because we were against them. We were against the British. Okay? Because remember, the British are coming. The British are coming. The British are coming. Remember? Okay, we were totally against the British, and we did not want a British person in the United States as president. So we made a law. Okay, that law is outdated. The law is outdated because it doesn't really matter now, because we got so many laws in effect that it wouldn't matter if a Britishman was in there or not. So we should really change that law. And you know what we should change that law to? And here we go back to the Clintons again. The Clintons. We're going back to the Clintons, and we're going back to impeachment of a president. Okay? President Bill Clinton was fully impeached. He was fully impeached. And one of the counts was he lied in federal court under oath. Bill Clinton lied in federal court under oath. And that was one of the charges. And he had 3 or 4 other charges of impeachment against him. And he was legally impeached way before he left office. But as all other presidents, which there were like 5, I think there was 5 other presidents that were impeached, they all never left office. They never left their duty. They never left office. It's like impeachment never happened with all the presidents who got impeached, all of them. I'm telling you this today on 7/12/2015. And I'm telling you that there has never been a president that was impeached, which there was 5 other ones, 4 or 5 other ones. There has never been a president as of today, 7/12/2015, never been a president as of today that left office because of impeachment. Never. Matter of fact, once they did leave office after their term, this was only after their term, nothing to do with impeachment, this was only after their term, all charges were acquitted. that means the charges never happened. It's just like the charges never happened. Even though they did happen, and they were proven in the highest court of land, they did happen, they were acquitted once the president left office. Same thing with Bill Clinton. Same thing with Bill Clinton. All charges were dropped or acquitted. It's just like every other person, and Bill Clinton ain't special, other than he had the most accounts of impeachment against him than any other president. He had the most accounts. Okay, so this is what I think we ought to do. We ought to change the law, and the law. That's my. That's my talking thermometer. So that means it's probably 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or yeah, be about 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. But aside that, okay, this is what I think we ought to do. So what we ought to change the law. We ought to change the law from having, being born, have to be born in the United States. I mean, what's that doing? What is that really doing? Okay, since you were born in the United States, you're faultless. I mean, what is that? I mean, it's just because you're born in the United States, you're some kind of god or something. Some kind of righteous person. I mean, I can name a lot of people who ain't righteous in the United States. And definitely, would you want Charles Manson? He was born in the United States. Charles Manson. Why not have him run for president? Charles Manson. He was back in the 60s, 70s. Killed a lot of people. Or he didn't actually kill him. He had other people doing it for him. But he's still alive, and he's still in prison. Charles Manson. I used to watch his trials. I thought they were very interesting, and I was just a kid then. But I'm just a big kid now. But what I think they ought to do, what I think the United States of America ought to do, is change that law. Change, so I'm saying that because Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the American dream. He's a bodybuilder. He's a nutritionist. He's a political person. He's got his own brand, of bodybuilding stuff, and he's the American dream. He came to the United States from Austria, and he married Kennedy. A relation to the Kennedy that got killed, and he married Kennedy, and he's a nutritionist, like I said, a bodybuilder. And he's God, I could talk all day on Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a superhero. He's as far as movies go, he's a superhero and a big movie star. He was the highest paid movie star in Hollywood. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the highest paid movie star in Hollywood. I love all his movies. Every movie I've seen of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I love him, man. And I like to watch him, pose, man. Man, he's great. He's the American dream. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the American dream. And he was governor of California. He was governor of California. And I could talk all day on Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the American dream. And the only reason why he can't run, he was born in Austria. He wasn't born in the United States. So here's the reason why I should change. Here's the reason why the United States should change the law that you have to be born in the United States to become president. For one, it's outdated. It was outdated 10 years, or let's say 100 years after we made the law. Because after, say, 100 years of the United States, or 200 years of the United States, one Britishman ain't going to change the United States. So even if a Britishman did get in office, which, we have the option to have him in office or not, so that'd be our own fault. But so the law doesn't really have any validity, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have any sense, common sense to it. you know, being born in the United States to become president. It just doesn't have any common sense. Because I bet you if Arnold Schwarzenegger ran, it'd be a pretty close call on whoever else ran against him. Who wouldn't want the governor? Who wouldn't want the governor being president? Huh? Who wouldn't want the governor? The governor. I'll be back. Who wouldn't want him in president? Okay. So the reason, here's the reason why I say we should change one law and create another law. Okay. Banish or abandon that law of being born in the United States. That's bullshit. Okay, that's just keeping the American dream, Arnold Schwarzenegger, out of office. That's all that's doing. That's keeping the American dream, Arnold Schwarzenegger, out of office. That's what that's doing. Okay, so, and I don't even know if he'd run. Hopefully he would. I'd vote for him. But what we ought to do is just banish that law and make this law. If you're married to a president that was impeached, let me say that again. If you were married to a president that was impeached, there's a reason why the United States impeached President Bill Clinton. There's a reason why. There's actually 4 or 5 reasons why. Because he was impeached on 4 or 5 charges. It wasn't just 1. It wasn't just 2. It wasn't just 3. It was 4 or 5 charges, and one of them being lying to the United States people in federal court of land. So he's a liar. But this is what we ought to do. We ought to change that. We ought to change that being born in the United States. That you got to be born in the United States to become president. We ought to just banish that law. Just say that law don't exist no more because it's bullshit. But then make this law. If a president gets impeached, then his or her, if they're gay, I don't know, if there are 2 gay people in there, who cares? Because I'm not a racist person, so it doesn't matter to me if there's 2 men in the office, a man that's a president and the man that's what do you call it, the first man. You call him the first man then, instead of the first lady. So you'd have the president and then the first man. That'd be a first, but that'd be another racist thing. It's racist. I'm so sick of that shit. See the racist between if you're man and man or woman and woman or man and woman, and it's all racist. And like Obama, it's the color of his skin color. What the hell? Well, whatever. I don't want to get off onto that. But if a president was impeached or kicked out of office, well, impeachment's supposed to be kicked out of office, but never has been, probably never will be. But if a president is impeached, then his wife, whether it be male or female, cannot run for office again. Why do you think we impeach people? Oh, you didn't cross your legs right. Why do you think we impeach people? We don't just impeach them on whims. It's not just a whim. Oh, you didn't wear your glasses right. You wear your glasses like this. I mean, we don't do it on ridiculous things like that. We don't do it. We don't impeach a president on ridiculous things. You wear your shirt backwards. We don't impeach presidents on ridiculous things. President is the highest office a United States person can have. We don't impeach presidents on whims or goofy stuff. Goofy stuff. We don't do that. And he was impeached on 4 or 5 different counts. Come on. If a president is impeached, then his wife cannot run for president ever. Ever. That's ever. And that right there is what Hillary Clinton is. She's married to Bill Clinton, who was impeached in presidency. And he's a cokehead. Family is a cokehead. The whole damn family is a cokehead. He broke the law. He broke the law while he was in office. He broke it every day on the day. Every day he was in office, he broke the law. He had 5 planes, 5 private planes that flew his coke from over the border to the United States, and so he could support his coke habit plus sell it. So he was a drug dealer. He was a drug dealer, and he was a cokehead. And he was impeached. So I'm saying, if a president is impeached, then his wife cannot run, period. That's bullshit. And it's bullshit if you vote for Hillary Clinton. If you believe what I've just told you, you're just asking to be fucked in the ass. You're just asking to be fucked in the ass again. That's all you're doing. You're asking to be fucked in the ass. If you vote for Clinton, if you vote for Hillary Clinton, if you vote for her, you're just asking to be fucked in the ass. Again. And I say again because Bill Clinton was impeached fully before he left office. He was impeached fully by the highest court of the land. He was impeached. Look it up. I did. I know it for a fact. I wouldn't be saying this on this video if I didn't. Bill Clinton was impeached fully impeached on 4 or 5 different counts. Not just 1, not just 2, but 4 or 5 accounts. Bill Clinton was impeached. Do not vote for Hillary. That's bullshit. You'll get bullshit if you do. But you know me, I'm Dan. Same time, same channel. Same bat time, same bat channel. See that?